We thought it timely to communicate a couple of changes as they pertain to our long-term plans. Firstly, that involves the retirement of a couple of stalwarts from our board, 14-year veterans, and I'm talking about John Sutton and Peter Hurley. Really good guys, wonderful contributors to this club. The second component to this announcement is the appointment, of course, of former club captain, best and fairest Brownlow medalist and premiership player in Mark Ricciuto to our board. The previous guys that are retiring will be retiring effective end of this year, and Mark will be joining our board effective the 1st of July. So, folks, these decisions were made some time ago, communicating them to you today, and I might just pause there and hand over to you to ask the questions you want answers to.
Why today, Rob?
A couple of things. Some circumstances have changed, both on Mark's side and on the football club side. Mark's been able to reorganise his work schedule, of course, going from afternoon to mornings. And from our perspective, of course, as you know, we've just announced David Noble as the head of football. Clearly, he's going to be embarking on, some reviews and changes for this year and leading into next year. We thought, Mark and I have been speaking regularly, why wait until the end of the year to, gain the experience that Mark has got? Why wouldn't we feed that into any changes that may or may not occur? The other thing is our constitution. Of course, is a new constitution. It allows us the freedom to appoint a director when we see fit. We don't have to. We're not constrained like we have been in the past to leave that to the end of the year. And as I said, it makes a whole lot of sense to do it now.
Rob, you lose a man with great business acumen, one who's an accountant, so financial. What else are you going to look for, and what does Mark fill in terms of everyone gets a portfolio, so what will he get?
Yeah, good question, Michelangelo. And we have done a skills analysis of what we need for this board. Of course, with Nigel Smart joining the management ranks, we're a little short on the football experience, recent football experience. So Mark clearly ticks all of those boxes, and his insights, experiences, and even within the media are going to be invaluable to us. But I don't want to pigeonhole Mark just for his football ability too. He's a businessman in his own right, and I would expect him, certainly in the first half a dozen months or the last 6 months of this year, to sit in and contribute to the finance committee, to the marketing committee, as well as the football.
Mark, you've got a lot on your plate already. Why take up this?
Why? Because I've always had a plan. At approximately 40 years of age, I'm just turned 39. That if I can get things in order on my personal front, that I wanted to give something back to the footy club. And when I retired from footy, I was had a number of things on my plate that I had to sort of get sorted out, and I have restructured those business commitments to be able to delegate a bit more now and free up a bit more time. And as Rob said, we've been in discussion for a long period of time, but I wanted to wait till the time was right for myself and for the footy club. And Peter Hurley, has been a great business partner of mine for a long time, and he said to me for a long time that when he goes off, I want you to go on. And it hasn't been the right time in the past, and with the restructuring of my personal stuff, the time is right now. I'm really keen to put all the knowledge that I've gained throughout my playing career and since I finished as well, which has been equally as important. I've seen more games a week over the last 7 years than I ever did throughout playing. I've seen all footy clubs from the bottom to the top in all states, and I've learned a lot of things about that. So it's great timing. And as Rob said, the reason we didn't do it at the end is because I've got time to do it now, and over the next few months of the year, important decisions are made that will shape next year, and I didn't want to waste a year.
When you retired, we all thought it was going to be coaching. Now it's gone on to this side, the other side of the fence.
Yep.
The reason why that changed, or how did you work that through your mind, which was going to be the best way to give?
When I finished football, I had most of my money that I'd been able to make through football tied up in pubs, and I wasn't in a position to be able to delegate total responsibility at that point. Now, a lot older, and got the Port Lincoln Hotel opened pretty much the year, a few months after I retired. There was a lot of work involved in getting that off the ground. Now that is in a shape where I can delegate there, and same with the Alma Hotel. With management, we've reshaped that, and other things are well coordinated so that I can let other people do a majority of the work.
Is there a reason why you're choosing this way to give back to the club rather than what we all kept guessing that eventually you'd coach?
Oh, well, it's hard to go into coaching 7 years after you're finished, even if I wanted to. And coaching is 110% of a commitment. Going on the board is not 110% of your time. You still commit 100% and give it your all, but you don't have to commit 50, 60, 70 hours a week, whatever. Okay.
Mark, your radio work, you had to move from the afternoon slot to mornings because of the commentary on football clubs, is that right?
No, that's wrong. Yeah.
So you could have had a position where you can be daily commentating on football clubs when you're a board member?
Yeah, I think so. Yep.
So
I mean, it's happened plenty of other times before. It's still happening with other people now. So I don't see it being an issue going forward.
not an issue with TV work?
Wouldn't have thought.
Rudy,
I've spoken to both Triple M and Fox, and they haven't got an issue.
So do you have an idea of things that you might like to see changed or switched around now that you're on the board?
Look, I want to just get in and have a look how things are run. I mean, it's been a long time since I've been involved. I've never been involved in the inner sanctum off the field. So I'm looking forward to working along side by side with Andrew Pays, who's been the footy director for a long time. So I'll sit in and have a listen and learn there and throw all my knowledge at him, and we'll make some decisions together.
Robert, it's a pretty challenging time. You said you had that experience over the last 7 years watching North
Yep.
footy. Does that help sort of shape your ideas of what a football club should be like?
Absolutely. I mean, the footy clubs have changed and footy's changed, but I think the core things are still very, very similar. And I feel as equipped as ever to be able to impact some knowledge into the footy club.
Well, it's a pretty challenging time with blokes across the road obviously playing a lot better and a lot better off the field.
Yep.
How do you see things moving with the Adelaide Football Club now? There's a lot more competition in this town.
I think it's healthy, so does. Port doing well is good for the state, and if we can continue to improve, there's been some big changes, at the footy club already, and I'm sure there'll be more to come in the future. There's always change in footy clubs, so I'm just going to come on and do what I can to make it as good a footy club as it possibly can be.
There's only one winner when there's competition, and that's the fan. They're the big beneficiaries.
Well, what happens to the mechanics now? There's one more spot to fill, or are you going to take it up to two more?
Intention at this stage is to take that through to the end of the year and make that member nominated position available. So Mark is a board appointment, and he will stand for election at the end of the year. So we'll have two member nominated positions then, so we'll make that decision. As I said in my first answer, it's all around the skill set we need to make this club run effectively and efficiently. So we'll assess that at the time. I'm sure we won't be short of nominations to go onto the board given the changing constitution. We think that's really healthy and we welcome that.
When you say Mark stand for election, he doesn't have to stand. You just appoint him on.
He can be nominated. There could be an election if we found out that there were 3 or 4 suitably qualified nominees that we might actually put that to the vote. But we do have the flexibility within the constitution. They go up to a nominations committee, effectively the executive committee, and those people have the authority to appoint.
You labelled it be the biggest upset in showdown history. How realistic can it be now that you're officially a Crows man again? How realistic is it?
There's always a chance to win, aren't you? And the Crows have showed that they've played some really good footy this year. They haven't done it too often, but when they have done it, it's been really good. And if they can bring that form on the weekend, they can win.
They need to play like you used to, bash a few blokes in midfield and all that sort of
I think if you look back, I got dragged a few times in showdowns for playing incorrectly. So, no, they need to play like they did against Collingwood and North Melbourne, and if they can do that, they're a good chance.
Made a couple of selection comments this morning, Mark. Do you, as a board member, now take that to the selection panel?
I'm not on the board yet. That's why I made those comments. But I think Sando and the coaching staff are well equipped to make their own decisions.
So, but do you, and you feel comfortable, will you be able to write those sort of pieces once you're a board member?
I've spoken to Peter Dorr at the Advertiser, and because I wanted to keep it confidential, it was only earlier today, and I said we're going to catch up shortly and work out what's wrong and what's right, and we'll make those calls over the next week or so.
I think the lines of delineation have been, well proven, in recent times with other members of the media, on to boards within football clubs. There are board confidential matters that would never get disclosed or discussed, and the rest then boils down to opinion, which I think everyone's free to share.
Make afc.com.au your first destination for all things Crow. You'll find exclusive content, player interviews, video, behind the scenes action, photos and highlights.